Let me guess, someone showed interest and right as things were getting good, poof, they ghosted you. And no, I'm not talking about a Tinder date, I'm talking about on a sales call. You know, like when a prospect schedules a call with you, you spend time preparing, reviewing their business, you show up to the call, you're staring at yourself in the Zoom meeting, and then they just never show up and then they never talk to you again, right? It sucks and it can really kill your business. So today, I'm gonna show you a simple strategy that you can use to eliminate no-shows altogether. And if you stay to the end, I'm not only gonna give you a process and a template that you can steal from me directly, but I'm also gonna teach you how to think about the beginning of your sales process so you have behavioral flexibility and you can apply these concepts to your situation regardless of what you sell. First, in order to improve our show rate, we need to understand why it's happening in the first place, because I think a lot of people go wrong by thinking that the way to improve their show rate is by sending a bunch more automated email reminders or by blasting their prospects with testimonials before they've even met with you. And while some of those things could potentially help, they're really not going to move the needle that much for you because they're only treating the symptom of the problem instead of the root cause. And this is because your show rate reflects the perceived value of the call to your prospect, meaning they're only going to show up to a meeting with you if they perceive it to be an experience that's going to be meaningful, insightful, and it's going to be with someone who actually is genuinely interested in helping them and not just like some pitch fest with someone who only cares about closing. So when you hammer your prospect with a bunch of reminder emails, you try to shove a bunch of testimonials down their throat before you met with them, it communicates that you only behave in your best interest instead of thinking about what's actually in the prospect's best interest. So then how do you develop a process that's in your prospect's best interest? The underlying principle here is education, and there's two key components to this. The first one is educating your prospect on you and your company, and then the second one is educating you on your prospect and their company. Now let's break each one of these down. When it comes to educating your prospects on you and your company, what I personally like to do is send one piece of content that outlines how my offer is structured, who it's for, the key components or how my service works at a high level, and what makes us different. And so I'm not sharing like 5 to 10 pieces of content with them before a call. I'm just sharing one, right? Because your prospect's busy, they don't have time to like watch a movie or a bunch of content about you. They might, but most people won't. And so you want to give them one key pillar piece of content that's going to empower them with all the knowledge that they need leading up to the call to step in and really have a good understanding of who you are, how you work, and what makes you different. And in the rare cases where I do share a testimonial with a prospect at this stage in the sales process, it's only because it's extremely relevant to them, and most of the time it's going to be in relation to maybe a conversation that I already had with them. Let's say we talked on the phone or we had a conversation on LinkedIn beforehand. They told me about their situation and I have a testimonial from a client where it's almost the exact same thing. Then I will share that specific piece of content, but otherwise I'll just let them find my testimonial content on my site on their own instead of trying to shove it down their throat. And so if you want an example of some content to model or like a structure that you can use, you can just check out my site at skyline.co, look at the first video on the homepage there, and you can just steal that exact structure for your offer. And then if you find this content valuable, just hit the like and subscribe button below so you can get notified when we release new content. Now, when it comes to educating you on your prospect and their company, it's really simple. All you got to do is ask them for the information that you would need so that you understand their business and you can start putting the pieces together for like what the potential use case would be if they were to buy your product or service. This is such a small, nuanced thing, but if you think about it, if you've ever been a buyer, right, even if you're not buying a customized service and you're just buying a software tool, you still want to make sure that the software tool is a really good fit for you, your business, and the use case or the problem that you're trying to solve in specific. And so by demonstrating to your buyer as soon as humanly possible that you actually care about their business, you want to learn more about it so that you can apply your product or service to their use case, it demonstrates that you actually care, which raises the perceived value of the call to the prospect, which increases the chances that they're going to show up. So, okay, now I'm gonna walk you through what our pre-call process looks like. And this process averages a 90 to 95% show rate on sales calls. And what I want you to take away from this is, one, how simple our process is, how we've weaved in the education principle into this process, and then how we're using social media to nurture prospects instead of putting them into this like long, annoying drip campaign. So, okay, there's 4 steps to our process. And the first one, in order to book a call with us, they have to fill out an application. And so in this application, it's already gonna give us a little bit of context on where their business is at and what they might need right now. And so the questions that we ask are how many salespeople they currently have on their team, how many meetings per month they're booking, what channels they're booking those meetings from, their top line revenue each month, and then what channel they heard about us from. The second piece is that once a call is booked, a connection request will go out from my LinkedIn account to connect with the prospect that I'm meeting with. I'll send them a brief message letting them know that I'm excited to meet with them. And this helps to get them in my ecosystem because I post content on LinkedIn every day. And so they can, on their own terms, then investigate me, my profile, my beliefs, how I think about outbound. And so instead of me trying to just continue to shove content down their throat, they now have access to my content and they can just consume it on their own terms. The third thing that happens is that whoever from our team booked the sales call, they will send out to the prospect our pre-call prep email template, which I'll show you in just a second. And then fourth, because we use HubSpot calendar links, we have 2 automated email reminders that get sent out. The first one is 1 day before the meeting, and then the second one is 1 hour before the meeting. So, okay, now let's take a look at the email template that we send. So, okay, here's a screenshot of the template, and you can see the subject line is really simple. It's just Skyline Call Prep, so they know exactly what this email is for. It says, hey, first name, I want to thank you for your interest in Skyline. If you have any decks or collateral that you think would give us a better understanding of your goals and business, please send them over so I can share them with Sky. So the first thing we're starting out with is we're showing that we have an interest in learning about the prospect and their business. Then from there, it says our company works a little bit different. So for some context, check out the video on this page here. So we're driving them to get educated about our company and our process and how we work, but we're doing it in a way that's kind of vague and it's going to pique some interest, and we're going to drive them to the site. And then finally we close it out. We're like, hey, looking forward to meeting with you. Thanks, Caroline. P.S. If you want to check out some other free content from our team on outbound sales, you can check out our YouTube channel here. So it's a really soft bump that drives them to a little bit more content. Okay, that's all I got. Hopefully you found this video helpful. I wish you the best of luck, and I will see you in the next video.